Hello everyone. I'm afraid I started this morning without doing a video because we were kind of waiting for the gas engineer to come and service the boiler, and I didn't want to have to stop and answer the phone, answer the door and all the rest of it. So I'm afraid I kind of started, but I'll show you what I've done, how I've done it. It all started with this little die from Craft Emotions. I have been lusting after for, well, years, I think. I'd seen it in use, could never find it anywhere. Just wasn't on anybody's website. I just couldn't find it. I even wrote to the company to say, you know, is it finished? Is it coming back? Whatever. And there was a bit of a non-committal response to say that they didn't know. Anyway, recently it popped up on a website and I thought, oh, wonderful. Went there. At least I saw it on the website, but when I got there it said out of stock. But there was the button that you could click to be notified when it was back in stock, which I did, and then promptly forgot about. But just this last week, I had an email to say they had some in stock. Couldn't believe it. So straight away, ordered that. But you know what it's like. If you want to get free shipping, you need to spend a certain amount of money. So I thought, you know, I need to spend a certain amount of money. So I bought this with it. Same company. Beautiful, beautiful trailing ivy. And just to make up the money, I bought this set of sentiment stamps from Woodware. Some of them are lovely. Some people need that extra something to get them through the day. Well, I can think of a few somethings that I need that's a little extra to get me through the day. And I just thought these were such fun. A true friend remembers your birthday, but never your age. Smile while you still have your own teeth. Oh, my Lord. Happiness is realising there's a second layer in a box of chocolates, and so on. Loved it. So that was what I did. Anyway, for this one, I just simply cut it out, coloured the base of the snowdrops with some distress oxide, tiny little hint of colour on the petals, stuck it onto 2 mounts, the lower one being on foam tape. What I want to do next with this one now is a similar thing, but I don't want to put the colour on the base. I want to leave it all white on white, just to see what the effect is. I do intend doing the 2 mounts again. There's something very subtle about mounting an image that takes your eye towards it. Without it, it's just kind of lost. But even if it's the same colour, it does just focus your eyes. So that's that one. And I've got the two mounts, the card base and the die cuts ready to go. So that's one. And the other one is this one, which I haven't actually finished. But this is the last of my memory box distressed collage corner dies. This is Addington. I've got another, at least another one. And this morning I found a website where they had a couple of Christmas ones as well. So very naughtily just ordered those as well. So that's kind of by the by. But what I thought this time, I wouldn't put a colour behind it. What I would do is to put a little bit of vellum behind it. And it just gives a subtle contrast. Can you see? Look at that. Look at that. If it's mounted up here, there's a lot of shadow because of my light. But with this vellum behind, I shall raise that as well. I just think that gives it a really subtle effect. So I'll just put this one together and then I'll show you how I coloured the ivy trail. So what I'm going to do is put the vellum on the back. Vellum is always difficult to add to the front of any card because whatever adhesive you put on it kind of shows through. This, I wouldn't even call it vellum. It's the Sizzix stuff that they call stencil film. I don't like, well, I won't use it for stencils, I don't like it, but used as vellum, it's fine. I've just cut a piece down. So there is that. I really think this is it's one of my brain waves, that's what I call it. Now I'm just going to put a bit of foam tape behind that. Where's my scissors? There they are. And then we'll pop that onto the card front and it's done. But then I will show you how I did the colouring of the trailing ivy. It's the one thing we used to do when I was a kid at my granny's. We'd bring some ivy in, but I actually don't like the smell of ivy indoors. Real ivy. I don't mind the plastic stuff, but I don't care for the smell of real ivy. I cut all these bits out of just offcuts, scraps. Don't like to waste any card really. A touch of glue stick just so that it doesn't grab the card too quickly, so that I don't misalign it. Right, here we go. And I want to put a sentiment onto this, and I think I'll do that in gold, and I haven't actually thought what I would do yet. But there, that's kind of subtle, isn't it? There's a tiny mark there, which I will endeavour to remove. There, it's gone. This is just an electric eraser, Iono from Amazon. So here's what you see here. This is where I cut my bits from. This is the offcut of making that card there. So if I do a sentiment on here, I think I'll probably do it in white and then use my ever favourite gilding wax on it. Okay, let's just do how I coloured the trailing ivy. Right, I decided I was going to use 2 colours of Distress Oxides. So the first one is Bundled Sage, and all I did was a dab on my mat, a squirt of water, and then just get it all over. So there's a bit of base colour on the ivy. There we go. We have a bit of base colour. Just wipe this up. So easy to do. Right. I think now I'm going to put the dark. This is Rustic Wilderness. Rustic Wilderness. And I'm going to put this on the other way round. Whereas for this one, I put the ink onto the mat and spritzed the mat. This time I'm going to put the ink neat from the mat onto my ivy and then spritz that. But before I do that, I'm going to dry off this first layer. To be honest, there's no hard and fast rules about what you do, really. You know, don't let anybody say to you, you should do this, you should do that. You do what works for you. If you like doing it, that's fine. If you don't like doing it, do something different. It's just no hard and fast rules. Let's just see how we're going here. Need a bit more than that on. And a bit more. I don't want to take it straight from the pad at the moment. I will do in a minute, but first of all, I just want to add some to this. And I want to be able to, you know, put a bit of pressure on without covering the whole thing completely with that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just give a little spritz to what's here already. Here we go. Softens the edges of whatever you've put on. Can you see? Look at that. Going to dry it again. This isn't special watercolour paper. It isn't a special watercolour card. This is the same card that I use for my card bases, for my for my mounts, all the rest of it. Now, what I'm going to do is just a tiny little bit of the deep again. Just a little. And then I need to wipe my fingers a bit. I just want to have lots of variation of colour because no leaves look matte colour all the way through. So I think that's probably going to be enough for that. And there's one more thing I want to do. I will just give my fingers a wipe. I just love this one, absolutely love it. And because it's so fine, I could probably, if I wanted to, curve it a little bit, you know, as I was adding it to something or other. Right, that'll do for now. Now, the Old Faithful, nice tiny bit of gilding wax. This is by Pebeo. The card I'm using, I meant to just say a moment ago, is Silkweave linen from syntego.co.uk, SYNTEGO. And they do sell on amazon.co.uk. They sell on amazon.com. So even in the States, you can get this fabulous, fabulous card. Recently, when I went to Newbury, I started using a bit of card that was there. It was very white, very flat. And, you know, I just couldn't enjoy the process of putting, you know, ink onto it because it was so stark. It was too white for me, too flat for me, and you know, I and when I compared it to some of this is a soft white. It's gentle. I just absolutely love it. And if you are in the UK and order direct from the company, you order one day, you will receive it the next. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's about 250 GSM. So look at this. Isn't that beautiful? It's got little indentations in some of the leaves, not all of them, some veining, and I think it looks fabulous. So all I did with this, I actually shortened it just a tad. I cut the top bit off, you can see, cut the top bit off and tucked the end of that under into the part of the trellis. So I will add a sentiment to that, and I'll use this for another one, but I wanted to show you what I did. Okay, that's that one. We'll just put that on my magnet out of there for the minute. Now, this one. For this one, this time, I want to do white on white. I did cut an extra load of petals because when I counted them just now, I could only find 5. Oh, things disappear. But look at what I did buy. People were saying to me, when you drop dies and all this kind of stuff, I bought a long-handled magnet, and this one has a little light on the end. So under the desk, if I've dropped a die, I can go scrabbling around and I can poke around with my magnetic picker-upper. So there we go. That was from Amazon, and it was only a couple of pounds, so I was really pleased. Right, now then, what I want to do is this. I'm going to stick this onto here, and because these petals hang down, I know if I want it centrally, I can go pretty much from the top of there to the bottom of here because the petal will hang down. So I'm going to put some glue onto this and just glue it down. I've got a glue pen here. Let's just put this on. The other day, I very naughtily left the top off my big fat one of these, and oh dear, it's made a kind of almost a seal over the nib. It's a fibre sort of, I don't know what it's made of, some kind of fibrous stuff. And so now the glue just comes out quickly, and I've tried filing it a bit, but it was a big mistake not to put the top on, I must confess. So I'll see if I can redeem it, but I was very cross with myself. Right, we'll pop this on here. This is going to be white on white, pretty much. There we go. There we are. Now, for the petals, the flowers, I am saying white on white. I am going to do just a little bit of a colour, and literally just a touch. I don't know if I got any glue on this bit. Let's just try it now. That's better. Right, to give these a little shape, out comes my embossing mat, and I'm going to have one, see if I can get 6 different ones, 2, 3, 4, got one of those, 5, and I don't know which the other one is. Don't know. What haven't I got? 1, 2, 3. Those 2. I've got no idea. It doesn't matter. We have this one. Right. All I'm going to do is to use an embossing tool and just do this, making them a bit more rounded. That's what I did with the other one. Okay. Here I have got a Stampin' Up marker, Stampin' Right. This is very, very, very old. And what I'm going to do is put a couple of little green marks. I don't know if you noticed on snowdrops, there are often just a couple of little green marks as part of the flower. I just absolutely adore them. So it's just a little bit of nonsense, really, just to, I don't necessarily know where exactly these little green marks are, but I think a bit of artistic license will be fine. Let's just turn this over. I should have done this, you're saying, and you're absolutely right. I should have done it before I did the shaping, but I forgot, so we're doing it now. But in the ordinary way, do this first and then do your shaping. Okay, now to make sure that they stay raised like that, I'm going to put just a smidge of foam tape on the back of each one, literally just a tiny little smidge, like this. See? There we go. And I think I'm going to put them straight on to the card before I lose them. There's always that possibility. I don't think there's anywhere right or wrong place for them. But if you put this down onto your cut it this way, you can A, see what you're doing, and B, it sticks to your finger so it doesn't go flying across the room. That's the idea. Anyway, now this one's ready, so let's just pop this on here. There we go. Take off the back and just pop it on to one of these. I don't think it matters where they go. Another one. Always keep the same scissors for sticky stuff so that they don't contaminate other scissors when you're trying to cut just regular paper or whatever. And I don't use paper scissors for fabric either. Right, here we go. Put that one up there. I'm getting there. Oops, that one didn't. Did just what I said it wouldn't do. It didn't. I didn't let it stick to my finger. Right, here we are. Just a little smidge. These bits that I'm cutting off, of course, are even smaller than the squares that you can buy. You know, little foam squares. I used to use those for a long time, but I find the foam tape much more adaptable. Can do far more things with it. Right. I couldn't work without tweezers. Things are just too fiddly without tweezers, but the curved ones like this I find really useful. But that rounding just seems to help a lot. There we go. Last one coming up. I mentioned yesterday, some people say, oh, I wish you'd finished the card so we can see it. But sometimes it does take me a while just to decide how I want to finish the card. And it would be boring for me to just do this and do that and play around forevermore whilst you're watching. And I'm not what you call an editor, so there we go. Now, this one is going to go directly onto this one beneath, onto this one. Oh, just look at those, aren't they beautiful? I just love this. If anybody's interested, the place I got it from was Emerald Crafts. They're in the New Forest. I went to visit the shop once, only to discover I went on their half-day closing, so I didn't actually get to see it. I should have made the proper inquiries before I left. It's not a huge distance away from us to the New Forest. Nearly there. When this tape gets as small as this, I can manage to do it this way rather than cutting strips first. But when it's new, it's so big, I can't cope with it. Right. Here we are, just a little bit of glue stick. Make sure the card's opening the right way. And there we go. Isn't that just something else, don't you think? Oh, well, there's my two cards. Doesn't take a minute, but oh, was I excited when that parcel came yesterday. Two clean, really clean and simple cards. Love it. As ever, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.